All right, it is Stugotz and Company. We are presented by FanDuel. Joe Buck, nice enough to join us here at a very busy time for him. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing really well. I mean, 1 week of the NFL season in. Is this airing today? Like, can I reference that this is Thursday or no?
Yes, this is airing today. You can reference that it's
tonight,
Thursday.
Should be a good game. I'll be there watching with Al and Kirk and the whole crew. And, getting ready for Houston and Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Great one.
Oh, look at that. So can I see that again? That was amazing. Wow.
It's a flimsy 3D thing. It's a flimsy flip chart.
I expected it to be like laminated or something.
That's not my work. This
Right.
is the tip of the iceberg. I say it's an all week affair getting ready for a game.
Least surprising thing ever, Joe Buck gets the early game, right? He doesn't have to do the 10 o'clock Vegas and Chargers game that nobody will get to watch because they'll be asleep.
Well, that's fair, but it's just like it's an ABC ESPN thing. So they always default toward ABC for Troy and me and our crew. But yeah, I would have no problem going out west. And frankly, whatever the number is, the rating, however many people are watching, it doesn't change what I do. So I'm glad to go to Houston, and I would be happy to go out west.
Joe, I find that most people wear like golf course hats as a bit of a flex. So if you want to, let me know which hat are you wearing right now? Which course is
fair
it?
question. This is the Sean McDonough charity classic that he does every year.
Wow. Friend of the pod.
At Boston Golf Club.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great place, but it's a charity for his dad who lost his life because of a heart disease that they really have no cure for. So Sean's kind of taken up the mantle with his sister and raising money for it.
We love Sean on this show. You have your own golf tournament, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. You haven't invited us. I mean,
in St. Louis, we say tournament. You guys tournament.
Tournament.
I'm just fishing for an invitation, Joe. That's all. I mean,
yeah, it's you're welcome anytime. I'm not going to pay for you to be here. I mean, come on in. I'll give you a spot. It's just not one of those things. And I know this isn't what you want to talk about, but
it is.
It's an event that we want all the money to go instead of flying people in and putting them up and all that. People locally for Children's Hospital, all the money goes there, and we don't have a big overhead for it.
Stu's big on not paying people too, so you guys something in common, right?
I'm an expert, exactly. One might say. Yes.
Perfect. It was right up your alley then.
You got a pretty good game opening night, Monday night of the season, huh?
It was one of the weirder games I think I've ever done.
Crazy.
It was just the beginning part of the game. It was like J.J. McCarthy looked like he was overwhelmed, and I think in his defense, I don't know. And Troy said it before our Zoom call with the Vikings. Like, why would he not play in the preseason? Hardly at all. He threw 7 passes. The guy's not played in over a year, and it felt like getting a little bit of a warm up would be a good thing. He didn't do it. I think it showed in the first half. They weren't getting to the line. The play they were late. I thought over and over and over, and he's up against it, and he's clapping for Ryan Kelly to snap the ball, and it was just a frustrating start. And then all of a sudden it flipped, as we said in the game, and I think it's true. Sometimes we're not right in the game, but I think it was the run game that kind of opened things up and got some of the pressure off McCarthy, and then he settled in, and then the other side went the other way. Caleb Williams and that defense, just kind of fell apart. So it was a weird game. It was a fun game to do, but it was shocking.
Did you feel like you saw a different Caleb Williams than you have in the past, or last year, I guess?
I think so. I mean, I think it's easy to go, they're 0-1, so it's more of the same. I do not think it's more of the same. I really don't. I think we saw it in the preseason. I think we saw it on that opening drive. The ball is coming out. There's an internal clock that obviously quarterbacks have to have, and there's kind of weirdly an internal clock when we're up in the broadcast booth. It's like you're waiting. The ball's got to be out. The ball's got to be out. It's easy to see, and I think maybe we did 2 games last year, definitely one for the Bears, and you just kept dying for the ball to come out of his hand, and it just didn't. And I didn't see any of that really on Monday night. And when it was time to throw it and wasn't there, he pulled it down. He reminded everybody just how good he is running the ball. So I think there's big time hope in Chicago. I think they have the right head coach. I think Caleb is going to be good in his hands. If he's going to be good in anybody's hands, I think he's the guy for that. So it's easy to be negative because they blew a home lead like that. But I thought he did look different in a very good way.
Joe, I'm wondering how much maybe you and Troy even talk about this stuff, but that was such a great contrast in terms of how people look at the quarterbacks, right? Caleb Williams, you got people assessing everything from his nails to his undershirts to, his personnel to his high fives. And McCarthy's on the other end, just playing the perfect role of cliche quarterback, never say anything. Yeah. And I'm curious because Troy didn't play the role. He was just the no nonsense guy. Just watching that Dallas Cowboys doc just reminded you of how much no nonsense he was and how necessary that was for that position. I'm wondering how you look at the way they discuss both of those players, or even Troy maybe, if you guys have talked about that whole subject.
I think it's a great question because I think for Caleb, every time we've been around him, I met him when he was in college. I met him obviously last year. I really like him. I think he comes across as a likable guy. I don't get who cares, with the nails thing. And I think being the number 1 overall pick, when the number 2 overall pick has a better year and takes his team to the NFC Championship, has more to do with the narrative on all that stuff than any of the superfluous, junk that goes around it. And I think out of that same draft was J.J. McCarthy, but he didn't play. And so now yes, they traded up to get him. Kevin O'Connell, who's kind of become this quarterback whisperer from Cousins to Darnold, making him a $100 million contract. I think he's got a big hand in that, as do the 49ers, by the way, with having kind of that year under Kyle Shanahan. And now, for McCarthy, it's let's see if he's any good. But I think he showed some things at the end of the game. But to me, that narrative around Caleb was written last year. Yeah, right. Now it's up to Caleb and Ben Johnson to end all that junk and go play well.
Joe, I'm workshopping a take. Feel free to have it if you want. Falcons, Vikings this week. Whoever wins that game, that quarterback, would go 2 in a redraft of the 2024 NFL draft.
You would have to give me an hour and a half to put that all together. I can't think that. But I do... I've not watched any of the tape of the Atlanta game yet, but I will because they're playing Tampa, or they played Tampa Bay, and I've got Tampa Bay.
Right.
That said, everything I'm reading is he looked good, and I agree with you. I think we don't know enough about him yet, but the way he stepped in at the end of last year, the way he's looked, the way guys are talking about him on that team, I'm not going to refute it. I can't do that fast, but I like your take. And if there's anybody in Stugotz,
that's not a great take.
Right. That's all I needed.
It's a terrible take, Joe. You're being nice. You're being kind. Why are you working out takes on Joe Buck?
Go through it. I can't even go through it. Who's won? It's Jaden.
Right.
Consensus.
You're saying Penix.
Right. But if Penix wins in a redraft, he would be number 2, I think is what he's saying.
But if the Vikings win, JJ goes 2.
Clear, it's clearly that's how they should have been drafted. After that one head-to-head matchup, what a great take that was by you. Well done. Good thinking.
Just get ready for Buck yeah, Buck no at the end here, okay? That is your time to shine, all right? I'm glad you guys were talking about Troy, Joe, because I love watching you guys. You guys have such great chemistry, and Troy is so good at breaking down a football game and breaking down quarterback play. I'm wondering, at what point in your broadcast relationship did you realize, oh, my God, this guy is that good at this?
I think both he and I have evolved over time. And you have to remember that the first 3 years we were together, we also had Chris Collinsworth with us. So that dynamic was really interesting between those two. And they saw the game really differently. They had really different sensibilities on what they wanted to talk about and how they wanted to talk about those things. And I think once Chris left, and I love Chris, I love him, I think that allowed Troy to shine. I think the answer to the question, though, is it was really early on, like maybe 3 weeks into it, when Troy showed up with all the work that he did to get ready for the game, that it's almost like he prepares for the game like a play-by-play guy, because it's not just breaking down play after play after play, but it's then kind of filtering in things about the history of that player or the history of that team and how that fits in. So I see a guy that's as well-rounded as anybody on TV in any sport, and then you add in the fact that he won 3 Super Bowls and he's in the Hall of Fame. It just elevates him that much more. So I think it took Chris and that, big personality getting out of the booth to let Troy kind of really come into his own. So that'd be year 4, where I was like, okay, not only is he capable of this, and by the way, I was fumbling around trying to find my own way too,
right?
But that he was really good at it on top of that.
It's not a shot at Collinsworth, but did you find it easier once, because now it's just you and Troy? So and Troy got better, as you pointed out, not because Collinsworth left, just because he had more space, he had more room to speak.
That's what it is. I mean, I don't know how 3-man booths are so hard. I mean, maybe it works a little easier in baseball, maybe, but what I have never understood, and I stand in the booth with the other 2 guys, how they know when they're going to talk and how they know when the other guy's going to talk. It's a lot. And then what happens is you've got, let's say in the case, and I'm glad you said it's not a shot at Chris, because I think Chris is a Hall of Fame broadcaster and he's phenomenal.
Great. Yes.
But what happens is, and this is maybe too in the weeds, but let's say analyst 1 is talking about the play. Analyst 2 is now in what we call a talkback situation, where you hit a button and you're talking only to the production truck. And now that analyst is trying to get what he or she wants to come back off what the other guy just said.
Right.
And therefore, there's never any listening. There's very little listening between the two that's happening in real time. You have to almost go back.
Right.
I would have to re-ask the question to get them to interact on the same point, because one guy's going and the other guy's going, yeah, okay, he's talking about the secondary. I want to talk about the tight end. And then it's even harder on the truck, because they're serving one analyst by the replay, and now they're listening to that, and they're not, it's like, where's your attention? So when it gets down to 2 people, you can have a conversation. It's like what you guys are doing. That's hard. I've done that. I've interviewed with multiple people with one guest, or the other way around, one person with multiple guests, and it's like, okay, who's going? When are we gonna?
Yes, I'll fix it in post.
No, but he's right. But you find yourself not listening, and listening is an important skill when you communicate.
Because then you can come off what the person said,
right? And
then it gets interesting. Like if Chris makes a point, and Troy wants to come off that with a point of his own, but counter it, then a 3-person booth really works. But if everybody's in their own silo, it's just more more talk, and B, there's no real interaction.
Joe, I saw you on Good Morning America. It's a very rare opportunity for me to watch Good Morning America. And I don't want to say you're a prisoner of the moment, but it was just a few hours after the Bills-Ravens game, and you said they're the 2 best teams in the league, and they'll see each other in the playoffs, and basically implied that one of them's going to win the Super Bowl. It's been 3 days. You still think so?
I do. I do. I just
so neither one of those teams has a bad defense, maybe.
I don't. I just think those 2 offenses are not going to be denied. I felt like watching the game that it was more of what we saw with Kansas City and Buffalo years ago. It's like, who's getting the ball last now, and whoever gets the ball last is going to win this game. And that's pretty rare, I think, in the NFL. But they can beat you so many different ways. Baltimore, we've got them next week with a home game against Detroit, which should be a really good game. And I think litmus
Detroit could be 0-2 in that game.
Yeah, they could. Right. They could be up against it going to Baltimore.
Facing 0-3. Yeah.
Look, I mean, that's a big game for them. But I do. Kansas City certainly didn't look like what we have come to expect in that game in Brazil. Chargers look better, but I think those are the two best teams in the AFC. I really do.
Do you enjoy doing Good Morning America?
It seems early.
No,
It's so early. Yeah.
My body clock from when I was 20 doing night baseball, night after night, has reset my entire biorhythm to really having a tough time getting up. And and consequently going to sleep. So we're all the same way. When you have to get up at 4:30 and now it's 9, now it's 10, you're like, I don't know about, and then it's 11 and you can't go to bed, and then it's in your head and then you really can't go to bed.
Right.
But I like doing that stuff. I think it's different. It's showing and exercising different muscles in this business, but it's, I love what I do. I think every time I've done that extra stuff, like hosting the Late Late Show, which I did way long time ago, 2 nights in my career, when they were doing that round robin of people, and then they settled on Craig Ferguson. I think I came out of that going, man, I really love what I do. And then when I do Good Morning America, they were awesome, and I love doing that. I'm going to do it again before that Baltimore game on Friday.
Nice.
I like doing it a lot, but it's like it's kind of freeing to do something like that, knowing that you're not auditioning for the job. I wasn't auditioning for the Late Late Show. That doesn't fit in my life then or now. And I wasn't auditioning for Good Morning America. That doesn't fit in my life then or now. So it's kind of freeing to go, if I'm terrible, if I mess this up, okay. I mean, I'm trying, and they seem to really like it, so that's good because they want me back. But it's not something I want to do full time.
Well, if you were tired, you fooled everybody because you looked great. I would go back
he
and
always
hire
looks
that
great.
personal
I mean, he's
makeup
Joe Buck.
person for myself.
2 hours. It was like C-3PO at the end of that.
Right.
Okay, we're done. I'm like,
well, that's the problem with mornings, Joe. You don't know what to do with the rest of your day. It's like, it's crazy.
I walked out of the studio at 9 o'clock in the morning. I was like, this is how Strahan lives? He's done at 9 in the morning?
What do I do now?
What do I do now? Do I take a nap and then I got to get up tomorrow? And is that going to mess me up tonight? But the good thing is my daughters are in New York, so I got to hang with them for 2 days. And that was honestly, that was the main reason why I said yes to it, because I wanted to have a specific reason to go to New York and spend a few days.
There's always a golf course, Joe. Always.
There's always a golf course.
Yes.
But that's really people. I just played in Chicago at Chicago Golf, which I wish I was wearing their hat, because that place is.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
It's amazing. And they don't water it really in the fall, so it's hard. And they talk about firm and fast and all that. It was a blast. But that's why I got into golf in the first place. I didn't grow up playing golf, but when I was doing minor league baseball and then big league baseball, it's like, what the heck do I do all day?
Sure.
Am I just going to be a slug and lay in bed, or am I going to get up and go play golf with everybody I work with? And the answer was golf, and then you absolutely get hooked.
What's your favorite city to visit? I imagine Chicago on that kind of night is in your top 5. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, give me Chicago, New York, LA, Boston. When you get you hate my team, you hate the Red Sox, you hate the Yankees, you hate the Dodgers. Like, do you really want to know where I want to go with my time? And it's because it's your city. It's not some of the other ones. I will not name them. You can fill in the blank.
Is there a sport you haven't called that you wish you could try? Because I was reading that you did bass fishing at one point.
I did live bass fishing.
How do you call bass fishing?
I don't. And I was terrible. I had no idea what I was doing. Rudy Martzke was the guy writing the column in the USA Today at the time. Wow. Promoted it. And he's like, hey, what are your qualifications for calling bass fishing on TV? I said, I had a fish tank in college. So does that count? I knew nothing about bass. I knew nothing about bass boats and the whole thing. And it was live. So shows are typically taped.
Right.
It's like, and let's fast forward to the real action where somebody actually caught a fish. and between whatever it was, 5:30 and 7 East Coast time that day, fish were not biting. So we're filling time. It was horrible. I've done Robbie Knievel jumping over limousines in Vegas.
Right.
I don't know that that's a sport.
Yeah.
But I've done.
Sort of.
I've done a ton of college basketball.
Sounds tougher than golf.
You did horse racing, I think, right?
I hosted.
Okay.
That's way different.
Right.
Doing the play-by-play. I don't know how those guys do that. But yeah, I hosted that. The answer is no. Long-winded way of going, there's nothing I'm yearning to do at this point.
I have an unfortunate update. I was going to have some fun with the image of Rudy Martzke because he's one of those in USA Today. I remember as a child. He passed away last year in November.
Yeah.
Rest in power.
Yeah. Well, he used to shred my dad.
Right.
I was the only kid in Indiana who had a subscription to the USA Today because every Monday I was like, woof, he just crushed my dad again. And let's say I was not a huge fan of Mr. Martzke, who predated all of that with time in St. Louis and knew my dad from those days. Then I show up as the 25-year-old kid at Fox, and he flipped it, and then he was very nice to me, probably out of guilt.
Well, he was wrong on the first one, so
So he was rough, and I would read that every Monday, walking to class, or not going to class, and was just like ready to march down to wherever the hell I think Atlanta, and give him a piece of my mind. But and then when he interviewed me, I was not the guy going, "Hey, why were you so mean to my dad?" I was like, "Rudy, please be nice to me." Please.
It's a very powerful column.
It was a powerful column. I want to do a 30 for 30 on that.
Ooh, that's a great idea. I'm in.
Should.
Who can, in today's world with Twitter or X and the few TV sports critics can even, for people of a certain age, cannot believe that in a national newspaper on that third page left column, there was somebody who had that much power and was wined and dined by every executive at every network, and had that kind of crown giving power. I mean, he used to crush my dad. He crushed Garagiola, and then he made certain people by just writing positively about them. And I guarantee you, he either got people hired or kept people around longer just because of the power of the pen.
The great Joe Buck is with us. Let's get to Buck or Buck no, because he has to get out of here. We appreciate the time, Joe. Taylor's going to take it away here. I'm certain you're thrilled. I think you like the game, but maybe you only like it in Tahoe. I don't know. I mean,
no, I can do this while sitting in my office in St. Louis. Yeah.
Go ahead, Taylor.
The Aaron Rodgers revenge game was the most predictable thing in Week 1. Buck yeah or Buck no?
Buck no. Meaning. Who saw that game breaking?
All the Jet fans. Yes, us.
Yep.
I mean, maybe because they lost, but not in that way. So,
no, I saw it that way too. I did.
You did?
Yeah, we did. I actually said before the game.
32, whatever it was.
I said before the game, Aaron's going to stroll in 4 touchdown passes and have the game that Jet fans wanted to see in that stadium on that field, but he'll have it in a Steelers jersey.
But there's another level to it there, Joe, because the Jets do the thing of giving you hope for a little bit as well, and then shit on you.
So you saw that from Justin Fields coming. Just because of the narrative, did you see that kind of offense for the Jets?
No, I didn't see that. I only saw Aaron Rodgers breaking my heart. That's it.
Which is why I'm saying Buck no.
Okay, got it.
Automatic refills of your coffee at a diner. Buck yeah or Buck no?
That's a good one.
Buck no, because I always have the perfect mix going.
Oh, yeah.
And then they dump more in, and now I've got to go back to the drawing board.
Thank you.
And remix to get the right shade of whatever that is.
This man knows his stuff. So Mikey's dad actually owned a diner. He lived my dream life owning a diner. And he says that, no, if your cup is near the aisle, they automatically fill. You got to move it to the other side. I didn't know these rules. They should put that on the door, Joe.
They should put that on the door. And if they're going to refill my cup, bring me a new cup. Because I end up pouring my lukewarm coffee, which this is now ice cold, into like my water cup to get an empty cup. So now we can start over, and now the process begins again.
All right, Taylor, go ahead. Buck no on that.
Unwritten rules in sports, specifically in tennis, apologizing when the ball hits the net, having to apologize. Buck yeah or buck no?
I didn't even know that. What? I didn't even
Now,
know.
whenever you
Yes!
whenever it goes off the net, the other player apologizes because it cost the other player a point. It seems like they're cheating, you know?
What?
It's crazy.
That was my reaction.
It's like a field goal kicker apologizing when it goes doink and in.
So what am I buck yeahing or buck knowing? You know how I feel about this. I don't like
Buck
it.
no.
All right, he doesn't like it. So buck no. Okay.
My guy right here.
I'm gonna ask this, and I'm gonna just lay out here the pickup drop off line for your kids at school. Buck yeah, buck no.
I'm hopeful that people that and I'm now 56, so I'm 100 compared to these other parents, and everybody's taking forever to get their prince or princess out of the car, and it's like, will you get the kid out of the car? I have things to do, and then everybody's tight. They want everybody to pull up tight, and so now you're stuck. You're backing up, going forward. It's like Austin Powers in the golf cart. You can't get out. The line takes forever. The only saving grace is I have so much to read during the football season that I can get on my phone and read NFL stuff while I'm inching my way to pick up my kid. But it's a buck no.
There's a line 400 cars deep, and this guy thinks, I'm going to be smart and make the left into the parking lot. Like nobody else thought of it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we're all lined up here for a reason. Go around. You're
There's
last.
that side of it too. Yeah, I am like my conscience, my guilt is way too heavy for doing that kind of stuff.
All right, last one from Taylor. We'll get you out of here, Joe. Go ahead, Taylor.
Boarding before your group is called on a plane. Buck yeah or buck no?
What do you know about commercial airlines, Joe?
Oh, I do. I live in St. Louis, and if you want to know our major carrier these days, it's Southwest.
Oh boy.
So when I do, I try to get A1, A2. I guess they're going to assign seats now.
Yeah.
But people are always like, "What are you doing on this one?" I'm like, well, you're on it. So what are you saying about yourself? But I think it's a buck no. I think it messes the whole thing up. It's very entitled. But I'm usually in the first group, so it's easy for me to say.
How far back on the plane, like what number do the rows have to get before you start to feel a little embarrassed? I shouldn't be this far back. Is it 10?
Well, here's the problem. You got to go midway back to get the exit row to get a little bit
Good point.
leg room. Problem is those seats don't recline.
Right.
So the one by the actual exit in the middle of the plane has no seat in front of it.
Right.
I either go there or I go right in the front, right on the aisle. It's about leg room for me. With having had 2 back surgeries, I need room.
I got to be honest. If I saw you on a Southwest airline, if I saw you on a plane, I would be like, Joe, what the fuck are you doing here? Like,
Think less of me, but it happens.
He is the voice of Monday Night Football on ESPN. Joe, next time we have you on, we're going to play some play-by-play for you of me doing a Marlins Cardinals game, and I want you to evaluate it.
No.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, it's great.
At least send it to me beforehand so I can prep.
Do your
I
best
will,
Rudy
yes.
Martzke
Maybe you'll do
impression.
play-by-play by play-by-play. That'd be great.
I'll do my Rudy Martzke, all cliched.
All right, get out of here. We appreciate the time. Thank
Too
you, Joe
soon.
Buck.
All right, guys. See ya.
Talk to you soon.